What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your licensed real estate market expert here in Charlotte. And boy, did we have a crazy last 7 days here. I'm sure you guys have all seen what happened with the stock market last week. We wiped out about $1.7 trillion in evaluation. During that time, the interest rates dropped to their lowest level that they've been in 6 or so months. Now the stock market is starting to recover. Things are slightly getting better. Interest rates started to climb up again, but now they are starting to tick down once more. Right now, with all of the things we have going on in the economy, the CEO, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan Chase, just said a recession is very likely. And unfortunately, I don't have the best news because people want low interest rates so they can finally buy the house they want. They can have the mortgage payment that they want on the house. But in order for interest rates to go down, the economy needs to be not stable. There needs to be uncertainty as far as jobs, layoffs, all these different factors play a role into the rates. So if you're wanting the rates to go down significantly, unfortunately, that is going to come with some pain in the market, and it's going to cause people to be uneasy about wanting to buy the home. Look at the last couple of years. There was so much uncertainty. That's why they had to keep the interest rates as low so people would still be spending money to essentially keep the economy afloat. Then people start to get real comfortable. The market is strong. Everything's going well. That's when we started seeing the interest rates rising and rising. So unfortunately, I think in these next couple of months, we're going to see big fluctuations in regards to interest rates and what's happening in the economy. Unfortunately, specifically for Charlotte, I don't see too many things affecting the real estate market. Our new listings had a big jump this last month. So did pending sales, and the average sales price jumped over $35,000 to the month prior. So right now, when we go over the data, in my opinion, I think we're going to surpass our all-time highs of average sales price and the median sales price. However, we don't know how things are going to turn out with the economy, and things can swing one way or the other. But the real estate market is not like the stock market. Things don't essentially happen overnight. It's a very gradual process, and we've gradually been building up the inventory. Things are getting better for buyers. Things are okay for sellers still, even though it's taking a lot longer for houses to sell now than it was before. Keep in mind, we still do have the multiple offers happening. It depends on the location, the home itself, and the condition in regards to multiple offers happening. And of course, the house being priced correctly and aggressively to get that interest from people. Now, if you do have any specific questions in regards to real estate, any neighborhoods, any zip codes, you guys always know you can call, text, or email me anytime. I'm always here to help you in any way that I can. Now, for the people out there that have been dying for some good news when it comes to buying a house, it is here. There are so many deals to be found. And I tell people every time, when you're looking at a market, when you're looking for a house, look in specific neighborhoods and then dive into the numbers. There's houses right now that you can buy in neighborhoods that are down 10 to 20% from their all-time highs. Then there's other neighborhoods that are super highly desirable that are up from their all-time highs. But you need to take a look at specific areas and niche down your home search in order to take advantage of the best deals out there. The investors out there are having a tough time unless you can find a house that needs a ton of work where you can have a good margin. I've recently been looking at some other investment properties for myself to buy, and right now, single family as far as a long-term rental does not make sense to me. Even if you have 20 to 30% equity, it's still extremely hard to get your mortgage covered because the rates are so high. So right now, I'm starting to look at some potential short-term investments when it comes to buying a rental property. But all in all, hasn't been too much change. Again, I think we're going to surpass our all-time highs in regards to average sales price and median sales price this year. And I think we finally will break 3 months of inventory this year. That might happen in May and or June, but again, we saw a big spike in new listings, but we also saw a big spike in pending sales to kind of counterbalance that inventory crisis. With this being said, let's go ahead and hop into the actual data, the actual numbers, so you can make the best decision for yourself and for your family. So in regards to new listings for the month of March, we had 5,676 new listings, and that is a 15.5% increase from this time last year, and it's almost 1,200 more new listings than we had in the month of February. This is a big jump, and if you look at the 2 years prior, we were in the negatives, negative 5.7 in 23, negative 0.2 in 24, and now we're in positive 15.5%. Now, before you guys get so excited and think, hey, all these new listings hopped on the market within 1 month, the demand was there for all of those houses. In regards to pending sales, there was 4,548 home sales pending, which was a 15.1% increase from pending sales of this time last year. So I want to break this down a little bit because I don't want you to get confused. New listings are up 15.5%. Pending sales jumped 15.1%. Does that mean that all of the new listings that hit the market got gobbled up right away? No, it doesn't. We're building a ton of inventory right now. And if you remember in my last video, I mentioned right now you're gonna see a lot of the houses that were sitting on the market 30 to 60 to 90 days start to sell because more buyers are heading into and wanting to buy during the spring and summer market. But what's interesting about pending sales as well, we've had even bigger jumps. Take a look at the 2 years prior for pending sales. Negative 8.3%, negative 6.2%, and now positive 15.1%. I'm wondering if a lot of the people that were on the sidelines, honestly, for the last couple of years, 1 to 2 years, are finally gonna give in and are finally giving in and saying, you know what, there's not movement. I didn't see the 15 to 20 to 30% market correction like some people thought would happen. They don't really see that happening anytime soon, and I tend to agree. We're in a very gradual process, and opposed to some other places where you are seeing these big price decreases happening, where you are seeing the market slow down, Charlotte is still moving in the right trajectory, and we don't have any big jumps when compared to the pre-pandemic levels. Now moving on to days on market, no change from the month prior. We are still at 55 days on market. That's a 31% increase from this time last year, and it's slowly starting to trickle down and or stay relatively steady. Now my sellers out there, please do not panic. I've had houses that are listed on the market, and if there's no offers within the first couple of weeks, people start to panic. This is going to be the new normal. The new normal is houses sitting on the market 30 to 60 to 90 days, and I think that is going to continue to go up. So a couple things you need to think about when you're listing your house is your personal timeline, how much money you're looking to net. But again, timeline is the most important. I always recommend pricing more aggressively if you want it to move quicker. There's always 3 ways to price a house. Pricing a house where you get offers within the first week and or the first weekend. Pricing a house where it might take 1 to 2 months to get an offer, and then pricing a house where it might take you 3+ months to get an offer. Typically, those are the houses where you're trying to look at above market value. But again, it all depends on the home itself, the condition, and the location. Speaking of pricing, let's get into the average sales price, which came in at just over $511,000. That is a 6.8% increase from this time last year, and it's over $35,000 more than the average sales price was in the month of February. This is a big jump, and believe it or not, we're only $10,000 below the all-time highs that we've ever seen in regards to average sales price in the Charlotte area. The highest average sales price that we've ever seen was just under $522,000, and right now we're sitting above $511,000. I do think we're going to surpass our all-time highs here in the next 2 to 4 months. Now getting into median sales price, it also had a jump. Median sales price came in at $395,000. That's a 2.6% increase from this time last year, and it's $10,000 more than the median than we had in the month of February. In regards to this, we are also only $11,000 away from our all-time highs. The highest median sales price we've seen here in Charlotte is at $406, and we're currently at $395. And again, I do think we might surpass the median, definitely the average. In regards to the median, I do think we might hit 410 or 415 this year. But again, so many factors to take into consideration. That's why you guys should definitely keep up with the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, because I'll let you know what's happening in real time, not when something's already going bad and we're just starting to feel the after effects of it. Now that we got over some bad news in regards to the high prices for the buyers out there, now let's get into some good news. The percentage of the original list price received came in at 96.1. That's a 1.2% decrease from this time last year. Not too many people pay attention to this stat. They disregard it for whatever reason, but it is extremely important. This stat is telling you that on average, you could expect to pay 3.9% below the listed price of a home when you're officially closed. This is just the average. You can get higher and or you can get less. Like with a multiple offer situation, you're most likely going to be bidding higher than the listed price of the house. But this is telling you that there are a ton of deals out there, and especially if you can find houses that need work. So many people want things that are move-in ready. If you're willing to paint, do flooring, do some updates, there's a really good chance you can have a decent amount of equity in your home when you're done with the renovation. With that new listing spike, did it do anything to our months of inventory? Unfortunately, not when you're looking at the bigger picture. Months of inventory came in at 2.6. However, it is a 36.8% increase from this time last year. This is all heading in the right direction. We've built that base, and just like I do think we're going to hit all-time highs in regards to average sales price, possibly even the median, I also think that we're finally going to surpass 3 months of inventory. Charlotte has been under 3 months of inventory even pre-2020. 2018, 2019, we were roughly around the same inventory here. Unfortunately, everybody thought, because at one point we were at 0.6 months of inventory. Now, as we've built up, we've doubled, tripled, quadrupled, five-tupled. I don't even know if that's a thing, but we have way more inventory now. However, it just hasn't had that effect on the prices that people want to see. People want to get houses for 10, 20%, even more below their all-time highs. However, it's just not happening here. In regards to the Charlotte area, still extremely desirable, still an inbound state, ton of people moving here, and there is still a lot of demand. Even though the prices are at their peaks and possibly will surpass, even though the rates are still in the high 6s, even 7s, depending on some other factors, things are still moving. I see a very steady market, very steady trickle upward. But again, seasonality is going to play the biggest factors, along with, unfortunately, the economic uncertainty. If you want low rates, there will be economic uncertainty. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Call, text, or email me if there's anything I can ever do for you. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.